It's your daily dose of Donna. Today is Tuesday, January 7th. Welcome to the show. It is an incredibly windy day here in Los Angeles. In fact, we have what the news is calling life threatening winds in the Los Angeles area. So if I am still sitting here at the end of today's episode, if I don't fly off and defy gravity and become Alphaba, let's consider this a lucky day. We have a big show today. We are going to be talking all about some Bravo news. Yes, you guys, we're back to Bravo because James Kennedy finally showed his face. So did Allie, but they're not talking about each other. We're going to get into that. Craig Conover. Oh my gosh. My heart breaks for Craig. And I think we now know who broke up with who. There is a little we can talk about with Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, but not a lot. And then I actually had some interesting things that I wanted to talk about with Twitch, Stephen Twitch Boss, and that horrible incident that happened a few years ago. And people are not happy about his wife, his widow, Allison, opening up. You guys, we have a big show today. I hope everyone's ready to get into it. Daily Dose of Donna is sitting strong on Apple Podcast charts, number 19 this morning on TV and film. You guys are killing it, everyone. Get ready. Today, we have a big one. It's your Daily Dose of Donna. No big deal, just dancing. Just dancing through life here at the Donna Fest. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's windy. I will say I gave Lance a little bit of crap for getting solar here in our house because our roof is not flat. We have one of those like really pitched roofs, and he really wanted to go against the aesthetic of our home, and he wanted to do a solar front panel in the front of our home. And I said, my love, I care about the what is it called? The environment. I care about the environment, and I care about a low bill from the LADWP, but I do also care about the aesthetic of my home, and I will not be putting a solar panel on the front of my home. Not now, not ever. And if you do agree with me, please let me know, because he's very mad at me about that. So we were able to put a solar panel on our house, but because of the coverage of it, we don't get like full coverage, right? So he always gives me crap about it when I say it didn't like release our bill that much. Now, the one good thing about it is that we do have a power wall. We have like one of those Tesla power walls. And so this morning I was like, what if we lose power because of this crazy life-threatening windstorm? And he said, you happy we have solar? And I said, yes, honey. Yes, honey, I'm happy we have solar. Yes, honey. You know, sometimes those men. Speaking of men, James Kennedy. James Kennedy's been quiet, and I've enjoyed it. James Kennedy got real lucky, I will say, over the holiday season. He got real lucky because he had a bad run at the beginning of December, obviously, with his alcohol invoked domestic violence arrest the night of, what was it, December 10th, December 11th? I can't remember exactly. The night of Kathy Hilton's Christmas party, the DirecTV Christmas party, where he got arrested for can we say allegedly? I mean, he got arrested for domestic violence. The victim was his live-in girlfriend, Allie Luber, right? And he was put in jail for the night, was released on bail, $20,000 bail. And, I was open. I was not a fan. Still not a fan. This is not a one-time incident. This is a proven many-time incident. Many other women have come forward in the past. I don't believe that James Kennedy is someone that is healed And does that mean that he can't work on himself? No, we can work on ourselves. He can work on himself. I don't know where Allie is now. We haven't seen a lot of Allie. However, a few nights ago, I didn't see this. I follow her on social, but I'm not seeing all the stories. I don't sit and watch all the stories. But I did see someone DM me this morning that she had posted a few nights ago just a story of a sky, but it didn't look like she was at James' house from the angle of the house, and it was a sky, and it was an astrological something along the lines of like a star, Venus, something. Well, that's what she does. She's a tarot card reader, and she has a business, right? She has a podcast, I think, that she does, and she has a business where she does this. So good for her that she has to maintain her business. Now, today, she did actually post a reel. She finally showed her face. We don't know where she is. We don't know, the background. I can't like place it. If you guys follow her really well, maybe you can place where she is. I would be shocked if she actually is posting this from um from her home with James. That would be, in my opinion, that would be really, really shocking if she actually would post this from her home with James. But you tell me. Let me just play it for you guys so you can see what she looks like these days. She seems happy. She seems fine. It seems like everything's okay. She's not naming anything about it. She's not talking about the event. She's acting like everything's okay. Do you guys think this isn't her and James' house? You tell me.
And things to know about Venus entering Pisces. First, Venus entered Pisces on January 2nd and will be hanging out here until February 3rd. Two, Venus is exalted in Pisces, meaning if Venus could hang out with any zodiac sign, she picks Pisces every time. Pisces is the sign of emotions.
Okay, that's a pretty much all I can take of that. To be 100% honest, no offense to her. I'm not that interested in these kinds of things. And don't come at me if you're like an astrological obsessed person. I appreciate anyone's love of these things. It's not for me. And also her energy, I just like I like her as a person. I'm sure she's great. As I always said, Allie Bally is not a reality star. I don't find her super charismatic. She seems sweet. Now, this is this is a show where time is limited. So as you can see, she seems fine. She seems healthy. She seems kind. I have no idea where she's actually staying. If anyone can recognize, can anyone place the background of where she is? No idea. Now, James, in the meantime, has posted on his stories. As of last night, he posted 2 stories. Of course, he never posts on his actual feed. Internet is so slow right now, probably because of my what's it called? My wind. The wind. The wind. But he posted 2 stories, one being of his journey, his sobriety journey. Now, this is what gets me. And I understand that this may be a controversial subject. I am a daughter of an alcoholic. Okay. I do not have a conversation. I do not have a relationship with my alcoholic father. When I was a child, my father was active in the program. I grew up around him going to meetings. At the time, he stopped going to meetings and therefore fell off the wagon and started drinking again. Hence why a lot of the reason that we don't talk. But I remember when I was younger, there were a lot of chips around, and there was I forget what it's called. The wisdom to know the difference. What's that saying? Gosh, now I can't remember it. There's that God grant us the serenity, the prayer. I forget what it's called, but I remember there was like, that was sitting, the serenity prayer. Thank you. It was like sitting, and it was framed, and it was right on, like he was so merry. He was so merry from Sister Wives. My dad lived in like a bachelor pad in Beverly Hills, and he was an OBGYN. These are memories from when I was like 6 to 8 years old. And he lived in this like gorgeous condo bachelor pad in Beverly Hills, right by Cedar Sinai. He was an on-call OBGYN. He was delivering all the celebrity kids. and he was sober at this time. And he had a serenity prayer framed on his wet bar in his condo. Like, I just remember that. Um, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Exactly. That's what it is. Anyway, so I remember seeing those chips all the time. Now, a lot of people are very open about their experience in the program, and this is a personal issue. So some people are okay with sharing that. When I saw his story, and I'll share it with you guys if you haven't seen it, this is what it was. What it looks like for those of you listening to the audio. There's 5, from what I can see, welcome chips, which is a day 1 chip. There's 3 silver chips, which I don't know what they say. There's 1 black chip that says keep coming back. From a couple DMs that I got, the orange chips you get on day 1, which is, that means you're here, welcome, which is great. And I don't know what the other chips are. I would imagine a keep coming back is something that you get also, when you're leaving. I don't know exactly. Look, I will never, ever, ever shit on anyone's journey to sobriety or anyone's journey to anything that is healing. That is wonderful. I think it's a good thing. However, what I wonder and what I question and what it makes me concerned is that this feels performative. Everything about James and everything about Jax and these kind of people that do it and post it on their freaking story is performative. This feels performative. Why? Because it feels like I'm not getting healthy or I'm not getting, better for myself. I'm getting better to show you that I'm better. Please come to my DJ events. It's also very strange that he posts this exactly on the same day that Allie posts her first time, posting something. It's like together, they're like, maybe people will get over it. Like, can we just post it together? Aw, Simi gifted 5 Daily Dose of Donna memberships. It looks like Beth got one and some other people got one. That's so sweet, Simi. Thank you. I have to do a members only this week. I'm going to put it on the calendar, maybe Thursday. Okay, so yeah, Debbie says it reminds me of Brittany and her announcements. I have an announcement. And like I want him to get better. Obviously, I would never ever hope for someone's demise. Like I want him to get better, but is this true actual this feels performative. It feels like Jack saying, I'm going to a mental health facility. I don't know. I don't know. Now, his next story was him and his dog, Graham Hippie. I almost would rather him just post this. You know what I mean? Now a lot of people posted or sent me, I got a lot of DMs when I posted this on my story because a lot of people, this was very, I think this is like a little triggering to a lot of people, the story of him with the chips from, his drinking. I think this is like upsetting to a lot of people that have been through the program, because if you've been through the program, you know the seriousness of it and you know that the experience. So I think it does upset a lot of people, and that's okay. And understandable, but everyone has their own situation. I think that some people feel like this is, you know, I got one DM that says it's a program of anonymity. This is a problem. One of our traditions states that anonymity is the spiritual foundation of our fellowship, meaning if we all walked around saying, I am a member of AA or NA, look how awesome I am, and then we relapse, it's not a good look for the fellowship. The anonymity keeps our ego in check and holds the integrity of the program. It's okay to say you're sober, but to show off and shout from the rooftops that you're an anonymous program is a problem. Reality TV is such a problem for the integrity of the fellowship, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like, you don't realize that actually, because him going there and promoting this almost like puts this program at a higher level of like, shit, well, now if James gets in trouble again, now it looks like this program doesn't do its job. So this is interesting, right? Now, another really important part is like the drinking is just a part of the problem. He's a jerk. He's horrible. He speaks badly to women. I don't think the alcohol is the prime problem. As PK says, a lot of times alcohol is not the problem, it's a symptom of the problem. And I don't know enough to know about James's issue. So if Allie or James or his parents or whoever around him just say, like, just don't drink, I don't think that that's the only thing that is going to fix it. So let's see. Now, Callie also says, I could never stay sober in his lifestyle, especially the DJ thing. That's a really important part of this. Like Kyle Cook, for example. How in the world can these DJs, and I would love to talk to a DJ that is sober. It's got to be so hard to work in those environments where you're out there literally late nights. Like your sets are from, sometimes they start at midnight until 2, 3 a.m. And you're surrounded by crazy ass, partying, drunk, insane, crazy people. And they're all like out there drinking, and that's just like the vibe. And if it's not drinking, then it's drugs. How in the world are you strong enough to just like say no when that's your temptation, when you're around it and that's what you want, that's your craving? It's like having a food addiction and working in a restaurant. It's like having a cigarette addiction and working in Vegas, like where they sell cigarettes. It's so hard. It's like, it's got to be so hard being around your addiction 24/7. But I hope really strongly that he does get better. The comments, longtime AA member, anonymity is there to protect people from judgment, not to brag. Southern Hospitality, Maddie is sober and works in clubs and DJs. That's actually really true, Jen. I think some people are better than others. Like Lala, she was able to be around it all the time and she was fine. I don't know. I wonder how some people are able to do it and some aren't. Interesting. Okay. Let's move on to another story. Let's talk. Well, first I have to, oh God, this is actually, let me do one more story and then I'll bring up my sponsor, because my sponsor is via THC. So let's do one more story. We have to talk about Craig. When I tell you my heart broke into a million pieces for Craig Conover this morning. Oh my Lord. Did anyone else's heart break for Craig Conover this morning? If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is going to break your heart. I think that the mystery is solved. I think we all know who broke up with who. Craig Conover definitely got dumped in this relationship. We're going to watch this together. I posted it on my on my feed, because you know my love of Craig. And I will tell you, like, I have to say, I truly believe, for a second there, I have to say, I thought Craig maybe it was a mutual thing. People were effing with me in my DMs and like all the theories that I was reading, that maybe it happened weeks ago, that maybe it was a mutual thing, that maybe Craig said, like, listen, shit or get off the pot, Paige. Like, I want to move forward here. I'm not sure if you do. Let's do it. I thought maybe right after Thanksgiving. I thought maybe they were playing the games. But last night, Bravo Boo, who is an account that I follow, posted that Craig had created a cameo for someone. And I guess with Cameo, the way it works is you only have 7 days to create your cameo. And he said in this cameo, it was a Christmas cameo. It was delivered on Christmas. And he said, Merry Christmas. Paige and I have all these plans to go vacation. So he had planned this big London trip to go with, I think London, to go with Paige over the holidays. He had been planning this whole trip. And then, obviously they broke up. We didn't know who had broken up with who. We didn't know when. Paige obviously released that Gossip Girl, that Giggly Squad episode. She said she pre-recorded it, but it was released on December 30th. When was it released? December 30th. And then, of course, Craig finally showed up in his stories. Let's watch it on my Instagram. By the way, are you following me on Instagram? It's at This Is Donna Bowling. Okay, I have 27.8 thousand followers. Let's get me to 30,000 followers, guys. Why not? I'm fun. Let's watch Craig share in his stories.
Hey, everyone. What's up? Oh, figured it's finally time to check in with everyone. Sorry about the delay. This has all been very very unexpected, to say the least. But I guess life I got to start living again, whatever that looks like, whatever my new normal looks like. I have to start. Gratitude will get you through this. With time comes clarity. All of the advice I'm trying to listen to. But yeah, right before the holidays, I was very shocked. And it's okay. It takes two people to be in a relationship, and you can't control other people. You can only control how you react to it. So remember to be kind to Paige and me and yourselves and all of that good stuff. And I'm still processing everything, which is normal. I mean, 3-year relationship, it's your best friend who you talk to all day, every day, and then they're just gone. So, one day I'll be able to talk more on it. But right now, I just wanted to thank everyone for their kind messages. It has been really nice to read them, and it's just life. I have to take my own advice that I give when I go around and speak at these home shows, that no one's ever not better off after a breakup. But I guess now I got to practice what I preach and believe it, and truly have faith in God that everything happens for a reason. But I love you all, and I'll see everyone on my travels this January. We got a lot coming up.
Craig, my heart. Here's a few things I took from it. He's reading Mel Robbins' book, Let Them, just like us. Okay? If you're not reading it, you are missing out. It is one of the best audiobooks I've purchased in a long time. She's on the Skinny Confidential, His and Hers podcast today. She's doing a press tour right now. She's on Caitlin Bristow's podcast. If you're not like a Mel Robbins fan, you must, because basically Mel Robbins' whole MO for this book, Let Them, is you cannot control other people. You can only control your reaction to them. So that's what he said. So he is on the Mel Robbins train. He's obviously taking it in stride. You can tell that he is absolutely heartbroken. You can tell that he's trying really hard to stay strong. Interesting. A few words. Shock. Unexpected. That's really crazy. Like, the fact that he said both those words is shocking for me, because either he was completely delulu for the last 3 years and had no idea that she was actually not happy, or because I think we all saw it. Like, it's really kind of surprising that he had no inclination to look at the bigger picture here and wonder. She really was either she was really leading him on, and she was actually saying to him, no, it's going to happen one day. Or he was not hearing what she was saying to him. What do you think it was? Because she was giving him mixed messages. Do you guys remember that episode of Summer House last season when they had that weird fortune teller girl in one of the first episodes, and they were all sitting around that DJ room that Kyle has, and she had one of those necklaces that was doing the swinging thing, like one of these guys, where she's doing the swinging thing. And she said, if it goes forward and backwards, you're going to get married or whatever. And she goes, am I going to get engaged in 2024? And it went forward and backwards. And she's like, I'm going to get engaged. Yay. I guarantee you, Paige was giving Craig mixed messages a lot. And Craig wasn't really sure if she wanted to stay with him or not. So it's very possible that Craig is maybe a little bit I don't want to say not clued in, but is it possible that Craig was not really fully seeing the light? He wasn't, she was like, Craig, I don't know if this is working. And he's like, so when am I seeing you next? And she's like, Craig, I don't know if this has longevity in our relationship. And he's like, I love you. So should I book my ticket? He just didn't want to see it. Is there a world where that happened? It's possible. Listen, it's possible. I wonder if that's the case. Now, you guys have a lot of takes on this too, and I'm curious. So I'm going to go through a little bit of your comments here. A lot of you feel, some of you, Mary says he doesn't seem that dumb. Patricia says he wasn't hearing her. Just because, okay, hold on. When she tried Madison's ring on, Shea said, yes, she was like showing a lot of interest in getting engaged. She was talking on her show a lot, if you listen to Giggly Squad, about when we have babies together, when we get pregnant together. She would say that with Hannah. Anna says Paige really wants a guy to love her more than she loves them. Yeah, she would definitely make a lot of personal references to the fact that she would talk about Craig a lot. I mean, it didn't sound to the average listener like she was unhappy in her relationship. It's very possible that Craig was not clued in on Paige's real secret feelings of unhappiness. Look, we don't know. We weren't actually there. I would love, now that he's opened up about his true feelings, I would love to hear from her, honestly, when she realized that it wasn't going to work. Now that we know that she broke up with him. Now that now that we said it, Camille Grammer. Now that we said it. Cuz now she doesn't have to play this game that it was like a mutual decision. She kind of made it sound like it last week, but now that she said it, or now that he said it, now I wish she could be honest with our audience and be like, look, here's the truth. Like, I didn't want to be with him anymore. You know, I wasn't feeling it anymore. I would love to know more. Yes, Mary says, I think there's more to the story than they're letting on. I believe she wanted to be with him. Oh, I believe she wanted to be with him and then something changed. So, yes, some people are still going really strong on this idea that maybe she met someone else. Stacy says Paige got a bigger taste of life on the road with the Giggly Squad tour and doesn't want to be completely settled down and become a mom yet. That's possible too. Listen, Paige is killing the game. It's like not even, she's murdering the game. She's making so much money. You guys, I don't think you understand how much money she's making on the Giggly Squad. It's crazy. Not only is the podcast making so much money, because my podcast compared to the Giggly Squad is like, see one of these leaves behind me? It's like my podcast is one of these leaves and their podcast is this entire wall of leaves. And I know how much money I make, and they make this entire wall, right? So times 2 probably. They're making so much money. That doesn't even include their merch. They have a book coming out, and then their 56 stop live tour that they sold out. Plus they're doing more shows next year. They are insanely successful off the Giggly Squad. Plus she's an influencer and she makes so much money. Plus her Amazon Live. And she does Summer House, which is almost like, why? Why is she even doing Summer House anymore? Like, that's, the Toast Girls said it best yesterday. Like, they were talking about this, which was interesting. I wanted to hear their perspective because they work with Craig and they're friends with Paige. So I was interested. They said that they had no idea that they were breaking up. They found out just like us. They had no idea. They found out listening to Giggly Squad just like us, or like from TikTok or Reels. And they said that that they actually hope that they get back together because they think that they genuinely really like each other. They also said that Paige is like such a star and such a perfect like catch, because not only is she so incredibly stunning, but she's so incredibly smart and she's so deep and she's so funny. And there's not a lot of people that are like that. And they obviously are obsessed with Craig and they love Craig. Craig is a business partner of theirs. One of Claudia, who's on the Toast, one of her husband's best friends. So they love Craig, but they really, really like both of them. You know, it's interesting. I want to see some of your other. Asif says there's something dead in Paige's eyes. I know everyone loves her, but she seems disinterested in everything. I think that's just kind of her energy, like a little almost like aloof, but she's really, really funny. And if you listen to the Giggly Squad, I will take her over Hannah times 10. Sorry, no offense, Hannah, but I would listen to the Giggly Squad if it was just Paige. If it was just Hannah, I don't think I would listen. There's something. So they were at the Knicks game last night. I don't know if you guys caught this. They were at the Knicks game, and I think the Knicks posted them on their social. Did they? I feel like I saw a picture of them on their social, and they looked so cute. They looked so pretty and so cute. But like Hannah, well, I mean, Paige kind of looks a little bitchy in this picture. I'll show you. She kind of looks like a little bit of a bitch in this picture. But like Hannah will always look a little hot mess. Like no matter how much money she'll have, she'll always look like just a little bit messy, no? But Paige is like, yeah, Paige kind of looks like just a little bit bitchy in this picture. So maybe I should stop sharing it. I wonder if Paige is going to get a little bit of heat from this. What do you think? Do you think Paige is going to get like turned on from that post? I hope she won't. I hope she won't because like at the end of the day, what's better? That you stay in a relationship and you get married and walk down the aisle even though you know it's not right? No, like she has to break it up. She has to break up. But you're right, she did sound like it was mutual. She made it sound very mutual on the podcast and she should have been honest because he's not like covering up for her. He's like, I was shocked. But he was very kind about her. He was like, I don't want you to send her any hate or anything. Like, this is just, the truth and, whatever. Yeah, it's really sad. I'm sad. Okay. So we'll see. Paige is going to be fine and Craig's going to be fine no matter what they end up doing. Okay, let's move on. And like one day, Craig, can you follow me on Instagram? Like, is it too much to ask for a follow? I mean, I don't want to be a stalker, but like, I'm a fan. Now, a lot of you guys think he's a big ass liar, and I get it. I feel it. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Just a fan. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, Paige just posted. Paige just posted on our Instagram, but she just posted like an influencer post. Should we look at it together? I just opened Instagram. She's listening to me right now. You know how they do that? You know how Instagram does that? Like the second that you talk about someone and then you open Instagram and then they're staring at you in the face and you're like, "Did you hear me?" Paige posted this. She said, and then it becomes an ice skating rink again. She does that because on her Instagram, I'm sorry, on Giggly Squad, she did like a whole thing how she was tripping out how basketball stadiums like change from being a basketball stadium to being an ice skating rink and then become concert stadiums. Like she trips out about it. I mean, she is beautiful. Let's be real. Yeah, this is from them last night. Oh, she's posting from Queens of Bravo. That's cute. This is them with her dads last night. Look, she's living her life, y'all. Good for her. She just needs to stay doing her thing. Okay. Before we move on to this other crazy story, which I think is an insane, insane story. Oh, do they still follow each other? That's a really good question. That's a really good question, Beth. If they don't, I'll be devastated. She still follows Craig. Okay. Everything's okay in the world. She still follows Craig. They're still on copacetic. She said on her podcast, she said, I still love Craig. I think he's still loves me. Chris says that Lance paid Craig not to follow me. If he did that, it's over. All right, let's move on to another story. But before we do that, and this next story is wild. You guys need to stick around for this next story because it's about Stephen Twitch, boss. Remember, he unalived himself. I hate saying that. I just worry about YouTube. A few years ago, and his widow, Allison Holker, is speaking out. This is a crazy story. I need to talk to you about this. But before we do that, this episode is brought to you by Via. And remember, the holiday season did throw off your routine. And if you are ready to take charge of your life and embrace full mental clarity this new year, I want to introduce you to Via Hemp. A lot of you guys are doing dry January, by the way, which means no alcohol, but that doesn't mean that you can't do anything. Let's all be a little California sober, right? Via Hemp is a Swiss Army knife of wellness with their premium THC-free products. They combine the natural power of cannabinoids like CBD, CBG, CBN with botanical supplements to help you feel your best, whether you need more sleep, better sleep, more focus, or a little relief. Via has something for everyone. Personally, I'm obsessed with their gummies, both THC free and legal THC options. They're perfect for winding down after a long day, and I've been sleeping like a baby. Plus, everything sourced from trusted American farms and shipped discreetly to your door. No stress, and no hassle, and no medical card needed. So if you're 21 and over, don't wait. Visit the link in our description, my description, and use code Daily Dose for 15% off your order. And if you're new to Via, they will even throw in a free gift of your choice. You guys, Via is honestly awesome. I've used the THC-free products. Lance uses the THC products. We're just like a happy bunch here. We just walk around like the Brady Bunch, right? It's a sunshine day. I think I'll go for a walk outside. So if you want to be annoying like us, you should try Via. Let them know that you heard about them on Daily Dose of Donna when you check out. It's a small way to support the show while you level up your wellness. This year, enhance your everyday with Via. Okay, so a couple things. A few years back, Stephen Twitch, like shockingly, it was a December. I can't remember exactly what's the date that happened. It was Twitch. It was 2000 and my God, 22? What year was that? Yeah. December 13th, 2022, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, shocker, like shocker to the community, shocker to anyone that knew him, from Ellen DeGeneres, from So You Think You Can Dance, from just watching him and his wife and his adorable family doing all these cute dance reels. They kept so many people alive during COVID times when people were sad and people were depressed. I used to watch their Instagram reels. I used to work out with them. I'm sure so many of us did this. He was so freaking happy. He was always so cheerful. And all of a sudden, we all woke up to this news on December 13th or December 14th that he had been found with a gunshot to his head in a random small dingy motel in Encino. You guys, if you drive by this motel in Encino, you'd be shocked. It's like out of nowhere, totally gross, totally random. It's like, what in the world happened? Now, a lot of conspiracy theories arose, which is where my foil hat comes on. Craig, call me. And I started to question, what in the world? Because Ellen DeGeneres, bad news bears. You know me, not a fan. And then the ditty of it, of all of it, right? And I'm like, okay, something happened here. But this starts to make me question a lot of things. This morning, Allison Holker, boss, even though she doesn't use his last name anymore, which is a big part of this, speaks to People magazine of all places. There's a whole People feature. Now, it's been 3 years, 2 years, 3 years since this happened. And she finally speaks. She's spoken here and there about it, but she speaks in a very, very strong way about this. And this is the cover that comes out on People magazine. And it's kind of shocking because I don't think anyone expected this. It says he was hiding so much. Now, all we've heard about Stephen Twitch Boss is the amazing part of him, right? The most amazing guy, happy, kind, loving, wonderful dad, wonderful husband, wonderful son, wonderful friend. Now, all of a sudden, years later, he was hiding so much: addiction, depression, childhood abuse. It says, after the beloved Ellen DeGeneres show star died by suicide in 2022, Holker discovered he was battling scary demons. How she navigated her shock and grief, protected their 3 kids, and is healing with a new love. Okay. Now I want to show you the clip of her talking about it. Where am I going to find that clip? I sent it to my friends, so it's here. Here it is. Okay, you ready?
I had dealt with an ex that had addiction problems, and then I realized Steven had addiction problems, and it's something that I kind of have been like, where was I involved in this? And I had to take some steps for myself to realize, like, you know, I was able to help one, and I wish I could have been that for the other. But it's also not my job to do that. There was a moment I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet. And picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out. But it also helped me process that he was going through so much. And he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone, because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want other people to take on his pain. I had dealt with an ex that had addiction.
Okay. So obviously, she's basically outing the fact that her dead husband was an addict. Of what? We don't know. But now our minds start to wonder, oh, he was an addict? He was a drug addict. This is starting to question a lot, right? Now his kids, his young kids are going to grow up. Daddy was a drug addict. All of his friends, his parents. But then I saw this. Shout out to Aaron who sent me this post. But in fact, I follow this guy, Jonah Platt. And actually Sarah, who's one of my friends, and she is a doser. She works with him. Jonah Platt is a podcast host. He's a very, very strong advocate for the Jewish community. He has a podcast called Being Jewish. Jonah Platt's wife, her name is Courtney Platt, and she is a former dancer on So You Think You Can Dance. So she is in that community, right? A lot of these people truly, truly know Twitch and are very good with Twitch, like very close with Twitch. So I want to show you what her caption was, and I was shocked to read that she posted this because I didn't know. I have my feelings about Allison, and I'm going to share them really fast before I show you this caption and read it to you. One thing about Allison that really threw me about a year after Twitch's death was, do you guys remember Dancing with the Devil? That documentary that came out about a year ago or a few months ago, which was that weird cult. Yes, Beth, you said it exactly in the comments. That cult with those dancers that got taken by that 3M or whatever management company with that weird church guy. And he was making them all like do these weird TikTok dances and then making them not talk to their family. And they were all going on TikTok and living in some weird home or whatever. And like they were separating from, it was a strange thing. It was like a church TikTok management company. Allison is friends with all of them. She's commenting on all of their posts. She's showing up to their events and stuff. And I was thinking, this is a cult. Why is Allison Holker friends with them? That made me say, uh-oh, I'm unfollowing Allison, because I was so heavily deep into that documentary. And I'm like, if you are connected with this girl and you're like, good job, great job. Now all of a sudden I'm like, no, I don't like you anymore. Something is off here. Why would you ever side with a girl who's like cutting out her own family, who are hysterically crying, saying we can't get a hold of our daughter? Why would you ever be on the daughter's side? It's weird. Something about it felt super, super weird to me. And I didn't like it. But then all I'll tell you is 2 things. I posted the Allison Holker thing. One of my old trainers that I worked out with at F45 here all of the F45 trainers are dancers in the LA dance community. One of them is one of my dear friends, and she sent me a DM that said F her about Allison Holker. I said, why? And then I got a DM about this Courtney Platt. So let me show you Courtney Platt's caption, and it blew me away. And I'm like, oh, this is a deep dive that we need to go into. And this is a dancer from So You Think You Can Dance, like I said. Courtney M. Platt is what she is, her name on social media. It's the People article, and this is her caption. I will read it because it's going to be hard for you guys to read. Anyone who knows me knows I go straight to source during a conflict and handle my business. But since there's clearly no shame in being so public, I haven't said a word in 2 years, but here I go. I was there the moment you both connected. I was there the day you got engaged. I stood by your side on your wedding day. I was in your home the day he died. I was by your side because your husband was my family. It didn't matter how often we spoke, how often we saw each other. We were bonded forever. This is by far the most tacky, classless, opportunistic act I have ever seen in my entire life. We all had to sign some weird NDA to attend his funeral. Even his own mother, who you've treated like garbage this entire time. And let's just remember, you wouldn't even have had a husband if it wasn't for her. Not to share anything or ruin his name as if that was on anyone's mind in the first place. And here you go and write a book with all the dirty laundry, smearing his name and attempting to dim the bright, loyal, loving light that was your husband, my friend. Whether any of it is true or not is actually besides the point. This is how you protect the boss name you so quickly dropped on your social media platforms 48 hours after he passed. His legacy. This is how you protect his children from any further humiliation, hurt, and despair. This is what you want them to remember about him. You've moved on. You're living your life. You're on every carpet you can get on, every celebrity row you can sit on, every magazine you can be in. And you needed to do this? Get a journal, a therapist, a friend, but publishing a book shamelessly, sharing the pages of your husband's journal, People magazine, what a joke. Yes, he took his own life, which is a fact all of us still can't fathom. And he was clearly having mental health issues, hurting so deeply. And this is your example of empathy, of your love. The smear campaign for a buck is absolutely not what he would have wanted, no matter how bad he was hurting, not for a second. You're a living, breathing bulldozer. Stick to your own demons. Shame on you, Allison. Shame on your money-hungry team. Let my friend rest in peace, not your PR. OMG. I'm obsessed with this girl, Courtney, now. You guys are asking, who is this Courtney? Her name is Courtney Ann Platt. She says, mommy, wife, MS, ass kicker. See, I support people with MS. Donna Bowling. Her husband is Jonah Platt. I love Jonah. I love his podcast, which is called Being Jewish. You may recognize her. She was on So You Think You Can Dance, I believe. I can't remember what season. This is what she looks like. Do you guys remember her? And that's her husband, Jonah. They're an adorable family. I wonder if there's video of her when she was a dancer. That's what she looks like. I don't know if you remember. They're very cute. Anyway, she sounds like she was really, really tight with that family and really tight with him, and sounds like really tight with Allison. But from multiple people, I heard that since Twitch died, Allison has completely cut out Twitch's mom. Wait, did I not show you any of the pictures of Courtney just now? Was I sharing the screen? I just want to make sure that I was sharing that. Apparently, Allison completely cut out Twitch's parents and has not let Twitch's parents see the grandchildren. Oh, I didn't show you the pictures. I'm so sorry. I was just like talking about them. Let me share while I talk about her. This is her family. Very sweet little family. These are a couple years old, but you guys may remember her. Anyway, the point is that like obviously they were very tight. They were very close. And she's devastated that Allison did that she literally is selling the legacy of Twitch for money. It's just devastating and it's so upsetting. And I think that, it's really, really sad that Allison would do that just for money. Why would she do that? I mean, that's really why you do that, right? You do that for money. And the question is, it does answer some questions, I do think, for the public that wonders, why did Twitch commit suicide that day? Because drugs do answer a lot of these reasons. Because that was out of freaking nowhere. If you thought when you were watching Twitch, like, dance all the time, it really did look like he was just this happy-go-lucky person. But as we know, that doesn't mean anything when it comes to mental illness. But drugs would track, and this could actually answer a lot of questions, although I still think it has a lot to do with Ellen DeGeneres. I really do think it does have a lot to do with Ellen. I don't know why. I just have never not. But wow, what a horrible thing to do publicly. Why? Just for money. I guess it's just for money. She has children to take care of because her husband left his family. But she's getting jobs left and right. She's getting jobs left and right. Don't you think she would have sold books talking about Twitch's life? Talking about how amazing Twitch was? Talking about all the wonderful things? Talking about being a widow? Talking about having to go through the experience of waking up to find out that your husband, ended his own life? Do you think that she had to talk about his drug addiction and his child abuse? That's the crazy thing, is like, how much do you have to, why do you have to bring up their story to tell your story? I think that's the difference. Her story, remember that whole thing about her story versus history? Her story is enough of a story that I think a lot of people would have really would have tuned into. Don't you think? Don't you feel like, I believe that enough people would have loved to just read about her, what she went into, what she's gone through, the widow's journey, without hearing all the dirt on him, without him being there to defend himself. She doesn't know his truth. She has no idea what really went down. She went into his closet and found all these things. She has no idea what was there and why and what. Was he framed? Was he holding something for a friend? She doesn't know. Now she's telling a story. He's gone. It's pretty crazy. Okay. And then before the day is over, Lance is just sending me pictures of like down trees. Like all day, I just get a picture of down trees from Burbank. Okay. Before the day is over, do we need to talk about anything with Blake? Oh, do you guys want to talk about Lala's co-host? I thought it was a nothing burger. Okay, I'll just jump into it really fast. Lala's co-host did speak up finally about why she was fired, and I didn't personally think it was a big deal at all. Did you guys? Okay, let me. In my opinion, Lala's co-host ended up finally sharing why she split. And her name is Jessica. She was her assistant. She's been very much a part of the show for years. And it wasn't like, it was kind of a shock and everyone was questioning everything. But the truth is that, let me just pull up the exact thing. Hold on. Let me get it really fast. I just want to make sure I get it. Okay. So Jess just has a new podcast called The Date My Podcast. That's Jessica. And she used the first episode of her new podcast to address the fact that she seemingly disappeared off that last podcast, which she did. She kind of just fell off of it. She said, when I was off that podcast, so suddenly you guys were so supportive and so kind in reaching out to me. She said, I miss you guys. And with those connections I made, I think at the very least you deserve what I can give you as an explanation of why I was suddenly gone. She went on to reveal that she thought she'd be at the last job forever, admitting she was ready to be a lifer. If not in the position she was working at the time, at least within the company, meaning working for Lala within the company forever. She said, I invested everything I had professionally in that last job and a lot personally. I was investing in a future that I thought we were all on the same page. Basically, what happened is I said how I felt about the way some things were being handled. And the response I got to that was, in my opinion, not good. Honestly, I was taken aback. I was heartbroken at those responses. So I sort of found myself in a position where I felt like I had no other option than to choose to leave. She went on to note that in some cases, people invest all of themselves into a relationship, but ultimately don't get in return what we feel we deserve, suggesting this was the case with Lala. What we feel we deserve can be as small as you don't have my back. And it can be confusing for people who are like me and frustrating because it's like all those times I've made you feel safe and I've had your back. In these moments where I should feel the same, I don't. And it's tough. And like I said, in many relationships that happens, and just overall in general, you can invest a lot in a relationship. And at the end of the day, it's just not enough. And sometimes that's the answer. Like, it's just not enough. She said she's grateful for the experience and the opportunities it gave her, though she also gave her credit for opening some of these doors. Listen, at the end of the day, it sounds to me like she just, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like not the end of the world. There's it doesn't sound like there was a crazy, crazy big fight or anything. It just sounds like they just like, it didn't work out. I mean, employment, like, it happens for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? I don't think that they had some big, huge falling out. It doesn't seem like Lala was like, F you, you're horrible. It doesn't sound, to me, it just sounds like it just didn't work out so well, right? I think that Lala probably didn't maybe appreciate her as much as she wanted to be appreciated. Maybe Jessica asked for a raise or a promotion and it didn't work out. I don't know. I mean, but everything happens for a reason. And Jessica got her start and she got an audience through Lala. And now she has her own podcast, which is great. And she has an audience, which she wouldn't have had she not had Lala. And like, to me, I think it's so much better to have your own audience than to just always be someone's plus one. Look at any of the people that started as, plus ones on look at like Jeff Lewis and Heather McDonald and all of that. Like, go off and do your own thing. It's so much better to do your own thing than only just being as a plus one on someone else's show. Speaking of, I did get a DM and I wanted to just bring this up really fast to you guys and then I'll move on. This I thought was interesting. But anyway, so about Lala, and then, I just think it just didn't work out. I don't think there's a big drama about it. Do you guys think? I think it's okay. My last thing that I'm going to say, a lot of you guys are asking for an update on the Justin Martindale and the Jeff Lewis thing. So I didn't listen to Jeff yesterday. From what I heard that it wasn't brought up at all. Today he had Ryan Bailey and Sarah Colonna on, and I know both of them are close with Justin. From what I heard, it hasn't been brought up, or it wasn't brought up today. I did get a DM from a doser who is also a Jeff Lewis listener. This person said that they called and they wanted to ask a question regarding the Justin Martindale situation. And they were told by the screener on the call that they will not be talking about this on the show. So the screener is basically saying, we will not be talking about Justin Martindale. We will not be covering that. There's a reason that they're not talking about it. Like, Jeff doesn't want to be talking about Justin or any of that, either yet or ever. I don't know if it's ever going to come back up. It kind of sucks that happened on Friday and then there's like no more further conversation about it. I wish there was, especially with someone like a Sarah Colonna who's friends with Justin. because I feel like the audience probably wants to know more. I was interested in what like Jeff's audience thinks. I mean, you can obviously look on Facebook groups or on Reddit or whatever to know what Jeff's audience thinks. And I'd say the majority of Jeff's audience is pretty much on Justin's side about it. But if you go to Jeff Lewis's Instagram post, the one with Jade on it from Friday, the majority of the comments on that post from Friday's post with Jade are very pro Justin. And I don't know. We'll see. Jade's not on his show this week. She'll be on the show, I want to say next week, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know if he's released his show schedule for next week. But it's just kind of like a bummer because I feel like Justin wasn't given a chance to like share his own thoughts on that show. But at the same time, that just, I guess, is what happens. I've been talking to Justin. That's not a secret. Justin and I are friends. And I spoke to him for a long time last night. I was walking through the kosher grocery store. I was like, Justin, hold on one second. Can I have a half a pound of trina? Like, he probably was like, what? Where are you? It was like I was literally like, excuse me, hold on. I'm at the Jewish market. We had a funny conversation, but we were chatting for a long time. He's a friend of mine. I really, really care for him. But he will be releasing his own episodes. I know he had to release a Patreon about the Golden Globes. He's going to be fine. Everyone's going to be fine. Like, everyone has their own businesses. Everyone has their careers. Heather is good. Jeff is good. Justin's good. Like, everyone's fine. And that's the cool thing about this industry is like everyone has their audiences and everyone has their people. And like, that's the cool thing about all of this, right? Debbie goes, half a pound of what? I'm Jewish and I don't even know what that is. Tahina. I say tahina. It's tahini. You guys say tahini. I say tahina. So look, no one's perfect. And I think a lot of people would regret past actions. I know I have. So I imagine a lot of people would probably do things over a different way in the past, but give people grace. That's all I have to say. So meanwhile, I came home and had a great shawarma and pita dinner last night, in case you guys are wondering. Great. Highly recommend Cambridge Farms here in the Valley. Fabulous kosher market. Okay, you guys, I appreciate all of you very much, and I hope everyone's doing well. And thank you so much for supporting the show. We're killing it. We're killing it, the Dosers, on my 2-year anniversary. Killing it. Keep supporting, keep loving on Daily Dose of Donna, keep 5-star reviewing and leaving reviews and ratings. It's really, really helping the show. You don't understand what it's doing with this, with the success of the show. It's really, really helping. Thank you. I can't even tell you. It's making a major, major change for the business. So I can't, my gratitude knows no bounds. And let's hope I don't fly away. And if I do, I'm just going to grab a broomstick and sing. So if you care to find me, look to the western sky. I'll see you tomorrow, and I don't know. Bye.